The Chosen Path, Episode 10 of 10, When the Chosen Fulfill Their Divine Assignment. It happens quietly, not with trumpets, not with crowds, but with a divine stillness inside your spirit that says, "This is it. I am walking in what I was created for." You no longer question your path, you embody it. You no longer search for purpose. You become the purpose in motion. This is the sacred moment when purpose stops being a concept and becomes your presence. You feel it in how you speak. You feel it in how you walk. You feel it in how the atmosphere responds to your existence. You are no longer chasing alignment. You are living from alignment. The old doubts have faded. The old fears no longer grip you. The old confusion has lost its voice. Because now you walk in fullness. Now you carry fire without apology. Now you stand as a living testimony of prophetic completion. The journey didn't break you. It built you. The pressure didn't crush you. It crowned you. The silence didn't isolate you. It solidified you. And now, you are here. Not just in your destiny, but in your divine assignment. Your words are not random anymore. Your presence is not small anymore. Your voice is not echo. It is now a sound from heaven. It's not loud. It's not dramatic, but it's undeniable. There's a shift in your spirit, a quiet confirmation that whispers, "You've arrived." Not in pride, not in ego, but in peace. Your soul stops searching. Your heart stops running. Your mind stops questioning. Because something deeper than understanding rises within you. Recognition. You recognize the rhythm of your calling. You recognize the harmony between your heart and heaven. You recognize the fruit of your obedience. You look around and realize what once felt distant is now under your feet. What once was vision is now reality. What once was a whisper is now your walk. You are no longer in preparation. You are in position. And the place where you stand now is the exact space your prayers were once crying out for. This is the blessing of divine assignment. When you don't need signs anymore because your spirit knows it has arrived. You didn't rush here. You were shaped for this. You were prepared for this. You were born for this. And now, every breath you take echoes purpose. Every step you take releases light. You are living the very thing your spirit dreamed of before you even had the words to describe it. There was a time when you wanted to be seen, to be understood, to be validated, to be accepted as cold. You tried to explain your fire. You tried to justify your glow. You tried to convince those who couldn't see what you carried. But now you've outgrown the need to be proven. Now, you just walk in it. Because purpose doesn't require proof. It requires presence. You no longer strive to explain. You embody. You no longer argue to be accepted. You move with quiet authority. You no longer chase confirmation. You carry confirmation in your very existence. You are no longer in a season of announcement. You are in a season of execution. The chosen reach a level where presence speaks louder than titles. Where obedience matters more than recognition. Where impact replaces applause. You don't wear the calling, you breathe it. You don't talk about purpose. You walk it. You don't search for platforms. You stand on assignment. And the beauty is, heaven knows who you are. The spirit realm recognizes your sound, and the earth responds to your authority. Even in silence, you are no longer trying to become something. You've become. And now, you shine, not for validation, but because you were born to illuminate. The scars now make sense. The silence now carries weight. The wilderness now looks like preparation, because what once felt like survival is now producing fruit that others can see. The prayers you whispered in pain are now voices of healing for others. The strength you built in hiding is now a covering for the weak. The fire you endured is now warming souls that had gone cold. You see it clearly now. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the betrayals, not the lonely nights, not the moments of doubt. Every flame formed something in you that became nourishment for others. You walk through rooms now, and people draw strength from your stillness. You speak one sentence and it echoes with fire that came from the furnace. The chosen don't just shine because they're gifted. They shine because they were refined in suffering. And the fruit you carry now was watered with your own pain. You didn't just make it out, you made it full of wisdom, full of presence, full of answers. You no longer talk about fire, you carry its fragrance. And the fruit that now grows in your spirit will feed generations who didn't see the fire, but will taste what it produced. In the beginning, you thought you were just the vessel, the mouth, the sound, the storyteller. But now, you see deeper. You were never just meant to speak the message. You were always meant to become it. Every battle you survived, every flame you endured, every silence you walked through was shaping you into a living letter from heaven. You are not just a preacher of fire, you are the fire. You are not just a teacher of truth, you are the echo of truth in motion. Your presence now speaks, louder than your sermons. Your posture carries more weight than your paragraphs. Your eyes tell stories that no microphone ever could. The chosen are not raised just to communicate. They are raised to embody the revelation. Because in a world drowning in noise, what people hunger for is not just words, but presence, substance, depth. And you have become that. You were the message your generation needed. Not in theory, but in essence. You walk in what others still try to explain. You carry what others still try to understand. You release what others only read about. Your life is no longer just testimony. It's prophetic proof that purpose is real. Heaven didn't just give you a message. Heaven turned you into one. There was a time you craved recognition. You wanted people to notice, to approve, to applaud. But now, that hunger has changed. You no longer seek to be seen. You seek to plant seeds, because applause fades. But legacy echoes through generations. You now understand that it's better to be remembered for the light you carried than for the noise you made. The chosen don't chase stages, they build altars. They don't live for followers, they live for impact. They don't seek to impress, they long to ignite. And now, you no longer measure success by reach, but by resonance. If your voice touched one soul, if your presence lit one flame, if your journey opened one path, then your assignment is bearing fruit. You are not called to be popular, you are called to be prophetic. And prophets are remembered not for applause, but for legacy shaped in silence. Heaven doesn't weigh numbers, it weighs obedience. So walk lightly through the noise, walk deeply through your purpose, and leave a trail that others will follow, not for your name, but for the God who walked through you. You didn't do it for applause. But now you see what your obedience has produced. You didn't see it in the moment, but now you recognize the impact. Someone is rising because you refused to give up. Someone is healing because you walked through your own pain. Someone is discovering their voice because you had the courage to use yours first. You didn't realize it, but you were unlocking others just by staying faithful to your path. That is the power of the chosen. They create momentum just by existing in obedience. You never had to push, you never had to impress, you just had to say yes. And now, you look around and realize you were a gate, you were a bridge, you were a spark that lit other flames. Your life became proof that it's possible. Your process became a pattern others can follow. Your breakthrough became permission for others to rise. You didn't just fulfill your calling. You paved the way for others to fulfill theirs. And that is the highest form of legacy. Not what you built for yourself, but what you birthed in others through obedience. The chosen don't just walk in light, they awaken light in those who didn't know they carried it. Something shifts in your spirit. You realize this was never just about a moment, never just about a video, a sermon, a message, a season. It was about eternity. The light you carried, it will continue. The voice you released, it will echo beyond time. The seed you planted, it will grow in generations you'll never meet. You fulfilled your earthly portion, but now your assignment has become eternal. You were never called just for influence, you were chosen for imprint. You leave behind more than memories. You leave behind a spiritual footprint, an atmosphere changed, a path opened, a presence that remains even in your absence. Because heaven never sees mission as finished when it's complete, it sees mission as multiplied. The chosen don't just finish well, they finish eternally relevant. You didn't just fulfill a calling, you activated something timeless. Your obedience became a doorway for heaven to continue moving through time long after your part is done. You now walk with peace, not because it's over, but because it's eternal. You've climbed the mountain, you've carried the fire, you've endured the shaping, you've fulfilled the assignment, and now it's time to breathe. Not because your fire is gone, but because your fire has found its place. You are no longer striving. You are settled. You are no longer proving. You are planted. You are no longer chasing. You are anchored in purpose. This is not the end of your glow. It's the beginning of your eternal rhythm. Rest does not mean stopping. Rest means walking with peace. Rest means moving in grace. Rest means being in sync with heaven's heartbeat. And now, your steps are lighter. Your presence is fuller. Your words are simpler, but carry more weight than ever. You've entered the place every chosen longs for. Peace within purpose. No noise can shake you. No delay can disturb you. No darkness can dim you, because you've done what you were called to do. And the purpose that once felt heavy now feels like home. You are no longer on a path of discovery. You are on a path of embodiment. The fire you carry now is not a burden. It is your rest. Even when your voice is quiet, your steps continue speaking. Even when your fire no longer burns in public, its heat still warms those walking behind you. Your life now echoes in places you've never been. Your obedience now resonates in people you've never met, because everything done in alignment leaves a spiritual frequency that doesn't fade, it expands. You didn't just fulfill a journey, you became a sacred echo. Your presence shifted atmospheres, your silence taught wisdom. Your scars became pathways. Your yes became a doorway for many others. And now, your name is no longer just a name. It's a symbol, a sound, a light etched into the spiritual memory of this generation. You were never called just to walk. You were called to leave resonance. And now, even after the assignment is fulfilled, your light keeps moving, your fire keeps reaching, your echo keeps resounding. This is the true glory of the chosen. They don't just shine while they live. They keep illuminating long after. You were not a moment, you were a message. You were not a spark, you were a flame that became an echo for eternity. You were not chosen to shine for a season. You were chosen to burn until heaven is visible on earth. Not to be admired, but to be a reflection of eternity in human form. Not to perform, but to provoke the world to remember where it came from. You carry fire, not for entertainment, but for alignment. The earth is groaning, the heavens are watching, and your flame is part of the answer. When you speak, heaven listens. When you move, atmospheres shift. When you obey, destiny is released. You are not here to blend in. You are here to blaze a path through darkness so others can find the glory again. Your fire is not ordinary. It was lit by the breath of God. And you were sent not to dim, but to burn, until glory fills every corner of this world. So keep walking, keep glowing, keep igniting, keep blazing, until the world feels heaven through your presence. Because you were not called to simply exist, you were called to awaken a generation. If this journey has spoken to your soul, comment below. I was chosen to burn until heaven touches earth. Subscribe to The Chosen Awakening. This is not the end. It is the ignition of a new era. You are fire. You are purpose. You are light. You are chosen.